Well, we're excited to be back home, excited for a night game um, here once again, playing a outstanding LSU team that has everything, great offensive line, receivers, tight ends, running back, quarterback. Nussmeier's playing extremely well defensively. Their two defensive end are outstanding interior good players, linebackers. They've just got a really good team and are playing at a high level. And I think they've won maybe 4 or 5 in a row now. And Coach Kelly's got them rolling. So it'll be a huge test for us. But we're excited to, like I said before, play at home and get to play a game off a bye week.
First up, we have Trey Biddy of hogsports.com.
Yeah, Coach, I was just wondering about Taylen, how he's looked these last couple of days, and if you're encouraged by it.
I have been encouraged about how he's practiced. He's still not full speed yet, but we certainly think there's a possibility that he can get there. We'll have to wait and see there. Obviously we have 2 more practices and a walk, but have been encouraged about his progression this week.
You were asked about freshman redshirting and stuff on Monday, but I was wondering if there's any freshmen that might be getting close to helping you a little bit more, kind of like we've seen Braylon get incorporated more. Is there any other guys that we could see?
Charlie Collins, I think he's coming on, and I think he can help us. I'm trying to think here. Any other freshmen? I don't know right now who else that would be in that category, Trey. If I'm thinking off the top, Bradshaw might be another one that has played that we feel like can move into a more significant role as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Next, we'll go to Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Sam, I'm wondering, winning a game that was tight that came down to the very end, what that might do for your team because you had not done that in the other 2 really tight games this season.
Well, we didn't have any turnovers, so that obviously helps. And so that puts in their mind that, if we can keep the ball and we can get turnovers, we have a lot better chance to win. So I think that was huge because we preached it, and then it became real, and we were able to win. Confidence, I think it's about the process of what it's done for us is put us confidence in that if we'll do the process of weekly preparation and take it one day at a time and have a good Monday and have a good Tuesday and so forth, that we're able to play our best ball. And if we'll play our best ball, we've got a fine team. And I think that's probably more than even the confidence of winning. It was the confidence that we had the process works if we'll continue to do it that right way.
Gotcha. I don't know how much feedback you get from fans, but there's certain fans that would say the Texas game is going to be the biggest rivalry that now that they're back on the schedule and in conference. But there's some generations of Arkansas fans who might consider LSU that way. I just wonder, it's a trophy game. What playing LSU, the significance for you and maybe the program?
Yeah, I think anytime that you have a long history with anybody that, and you spoke of Texas and certainly LSU. Anytime you have a long history of playing each other, and the proximity where we're recruiting, against each other, I think that puts a different feel towards the game. And then you throw a trophy in there. Certainly we've talked to our kids. We had a bye week too, so we had a little bit more time, but we talked to our kids about the significance of the history of this game and what it means to the state of Arkansas. So, yeah, I think you're 100% correct.
Next, we'll go to Andrew Hutchison of the Best of Arkansas Sports.
Hey, Coach, on Monday you mentioned that Carmona had played his best game since coming here. I'm curious what made it his best game, and where have you seen him improve the most over these first 6 games of the season?
I think it's technique. He's always been a good athlete, but I think this was his best technique game, especially in the pass protection. And, he's always played hard and joy to be around, but played a little bit more physical, and his pass pro technique was as good as it's been this year, and I expect that to get better and better. He's going to need to be this week because they've got 2 outstanding defensive ends, but that's the answer.
And I also know that you've talked a lot about how the open date allowed y'all to get healthy and everything. I'm curious for a guy like maybe Jaquindon Jackson. He hasn't missed any games or anything, but he's been in and out, dealt with various dings and bruises. How much of a benefit is this week off maybe for a guy like that?
Well, I think it's big, and Posca and Taylen Green, we've had several. Rodney Hill, hopefully he'll have a chance to at least be available. All those guys. And, of course, we haven't played a whole lot of offensive linemen. And so the bumps and the bruises and the dings that they have, it certainly helps as well. And we were very cautious about, still having the physicality, but getting these guys healthy. Luke has, Ty Washington. There was just a whole bunch of them that Hudson Clark that we needed to get healthy that weren't, and we'll be almost. It depends on what Taylen does, but we'll be just about full strength for the second half of the season.
Next, we'll go to James Crepea, the Oregonian.
Sam, wanted your perspective on Oregon's deliberate 12-man on the field penalty. If the NCAA is going to issue a rules interpretation from an offensive coach's standpoint, what should the interpretation or the change be to such a scenario?
Well, I think probably once they see 12 men, and I'm not talking about guys running off the field, that's a different scenario. But because you can take the play or not, but you're not actually playing with 12 guys. You're trying to get off the field. But I think if you see 12 on the field, I think at some point they're going to have to stop the game and, penalize someone for having 12 out there. But the rule is a rule, and Dan used it to his advantage, because there was no penalty for that, per se. There was, but the penalty didn't matter at that point in the game. So they'll have to interpret it and look at it. But certainly, I think they ought to do something about guys flopping on the field, and that's hard because you don't know if a guy's injured or if it's real, So we put a lot on those officials, but I think they're going to have to really look at that as well.
Is that a scenario you practice? Because you could argue you guys could have definitely done that theoretically at the end of the last one.
Yeah, I've been to, I think, now 12 Division I programs, and several of those programs have talked about that because the risk versus reward, the reward is much greater than the penalty. And certainly we don't do it here, but I'm not chastising anybody. It's the rule. They use it to their advantage. Is it good for college football? I don't know that. So I think they'll interpret it and get it corrected.
Thank you.
Next is the West Pruitt of 4-Star Sports Media.
Hey, Coach, when you look at this week's game, it's another big night game in Fayetteville. We said a couple weeks ago, Fayetteville is special, but Fayetteville at night is magic. Yeah. What are you looking forward to this week in a big-time night game?
I'm looking for the fans. our players, will be ready. LSU will be ready. I'm looking forward to the drive in and all the tents up and the people and the excitement on their face and a loud crowd and our fans can be a major problem for opponents when we give them excitement, and so we need to start fast, get the crowd involved. They'll be involved early. We need to start fast, and it's just I said it last week. There was nobody really had anything on that game day experience on us across the country. Now, I'm not saying that we were number one, but we were up there with all the programs in the country with atmosphere. That last night, the last time, when we played Tennessee, and I expect it to be that or even better on Saturday night.
Coach, thanks for your time today.
All right, thank y'all.